This morning, News Talk 1590 KVTA at 8:38. Mike Anderson, who runs a program at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning, which is Big Money, and inside the 805. You have done a great job facilitating a lot of excellent interviews that we have had this morning and, throughout
Thank you.
the week.
Yeah, it's been a wild week for everyone here in Ventura, and people are watching from around the country. But this morning we have the Ventura City Fire Chief, David Ndaya. They just finished a briefing just at the command center, so he came into the studio to give us an update and a status. We really appreciate it. Everyone's so appreciative of the work you guys have been doing. No loss of life that we've heard of yet. It's been amazing. But can you give us a status and update on what you've seen over the night and where we're at?
Sure, Mike. Thanks for having me on again today. First, we want to thank the community. They've been amazing during this whole event. I've said it at the press conferences, really, without their cooperation and patience and understanding, we couldn't do our job. And in an incident right now, we have over 3,500 public safety personnel assigned to this incident. So that's a lot of people influxing into the city, into the surrounding area. And without the community's cooperation, I really do want to extend a thank you from the firefighters that are here, our own here in Ventura City, and all who came from all over the state, actually out of the state, to assist us in this emergency. So with that, the current status of the fire, I've been really dedicated to our city's emergency operations center since Monday night when this started, along with all other city departments. And the fire since Monday night has burned 132,000 acres. It's 10% contained, and that number is really just such a variable. It could be 5% contained and then zero again, depending on the behavior based on the wind and the topography around it. As I stated, we have over 3,500 public safety personnel, just under 600 engines, over 21 helicopters, 48 hand crews, 26 bulldozers. I mean, the resources are phenomenal. They're all staged right at the Ventura County Fairgrounds for this incident. So overnight, again, I was actually at our EOC this morning. My deputy chief, Matt Brock, was one of the unified incident commanders at the command post at the fairgrounds. And the information that they were receiving basically was that overnight it really did flare up. This fire is now moving both directions. It's moving east toward Fillmore, east toward Piru. Those are where their contingency plans are. And then obviously last night with the press conference, it's moving north up the coast right toward Carpinteria. So they're preparing everywhere from there to Summerlin, Montecito, and then obviously Santa Barbara's getting ready as well.
That's amazing. You guys have truly done just amazing work. I was at the command center earlier this week, seeing the way you guys have organized and came in there. It is running so well. You guys, and I think it's a testament to the job you're doing. I've had a lot of people ask me, call in and talk to me and text and say, when can we get back up to those homes that are already gone in Ventura, that the fire's not there in Ventura? When can we get back up there?
We appreciate that question a lot, and I'm really glad we have the opportunity in this forum to get that message out from the local fire chief. The first thing is this fire is not out in Ventura. We had a massive firestorm come through, and it's not gone. The winds right now are dying down, as you said, but we are going to have what are called battling winds, which means they're going to be competing with one another, which actually makes it extremely dangerous for our firefighters and for anyone in that zone because it's very unpredictable. What you have, we've lost many homes. You know, we've heard some of the numbers, and each one of those areas, plus all of the brush surrounding, is still very much on fire. It's just not on fire as we view it, as the public views it, often with big flames and fronts. Mm-hmm. The way I've described it in many of my discussions with lay people out in the field is, every single home that was lost and every single acre that was burned is a smoking pile of hot coals. And, I wouldn't pick up a pile of hot coals with a pan, walk into my home, and blow on it. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because there's no active flame coming off of it does not mean it's out. And we've got utter devastation through so much of our city that it's a safety issue. It is literally a life safety issue. So what we have is we have a plan in place. The incident management team at the command post has a process and a checklist to make sure our citizens are safe. And what they have to do is we've had open natural gas lines, live power lines, water obviously has been an issue in flooding. We've also had upwards of 200 to 300 engines, large fire engines, fire crews up in those neighborhoods. And to put our residents up there, first of all, it's a very emotional thing to go back and look for your home, see the state of your home. And what we don't want is anyone being injured, anyone being hurt, burned, sifting through their stuff. You know, here in Ventura, we often say don't have a fire on the beach and cover it up with sand, because a week from now a child could step in it and get burned. This is 10 times worse than that. And so that's what we're doing, is we understand, and I asked very, very hopefully for our community's patience, that we worked very diligently during the active fire front that everyone views as the fire, and what we have now is the aftermath. And we need to make sure that those fires are actually out, because the last thing we want to do is bring people up and have there be a wind event. We're in a red flag until Sunday night at 8, and I'm not making a call that it's going to be beyond Sunday night. It is our #1 priority to get our community back into their homes and into their neighborhoods. But it's my responsibility as the fire chief to get them back in there safely.
Now, Mike, I would like to bring Rich Galano into the conversation here. Thank you so much for coming in. You know, when I was a kid, they used to refer to it as banking a fire. And when you had a campfire, you'd pile rocks over it, and you could start a fire once, and if you're at the site for a couple of weeks, you could use the same fire over and over and over. Nature has a way of preserving fire. And like you say, on the beach, I lived at the beach for a long time. These are really, really important issues. And the last thing we need, as you said, is insult to injury. The poor people who lost their houses could now hurt themselves looking through. So we do have to be careful about that. Rich?